morning, Tampa Bay. Let's get your day started. This is ABC Action News, taking action for you.
Now it's 6 as COVID-19 cases continue to rise. Local health experts are sharing their concerns about reopening schools. New this morning why they believe now just isn't the time. And today, Florida's largest teachers union hopes a judge will press pause on in-person classes. The next step forward that could lead to delaying schools.
And we're looking at showers and thunderstorms off the Florida coast today. When to expect higher coverage later this afternoon coming up.
Hey, good Wednesday morning to you, Tampa Bay. I'm Vanessa Ariza in for Dia Riley.
And hey, I'm James Tully. Sarah Finney, of course, is tracking the roads, getting a look at your morning commute. But first, let's go over to Greg D to join us with your forecast here, timing out those storms in the Bay Area. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, James. Vanessa, good morning, everybody. I think a better opportunity for almost all of us to see rain today. Yesterday, very stormy in the interior. We do have a couple of storms already out there, one on the north shore of Lake Okeechobee, and a couple of showers starting to form offshore of Fort Myers and down towards Cape Coral. Some of these could impact our southern counties later on this morning. Overall, it's a little cooler than yesterday in the 70s. We're still going to get up into the 90s this afternoon, but the chances for rain in Tampa almost doubling to near 60%. I'll show you your hour-by-hour rain planner to help you plan around the showers coming up in less than 10 minutes. Sarah, how are the roads looking this morning?
Hey, good morning, Greg. I've got my eyes on the Howard Franklin still because, the camera's a little shaky. Hope you don't get seasick easily. But there is some activity over on the shoulder northbound. This is on the Pinellas side of the bridge. Speaking of the Howard Franklin, a little bit later today between 10:30 and 1, it is going to be affected by some periodic closures because of Vice President Mike Pence's visit to Clearwater. Throughout the day, you'll also find those closures on some of our major roadways throughout Pinellas County and Tampa Bay, including 60 from Clearwater Beach to TPA. That's from 3 to 5. If you missed some of that or you want some more details because you are going to be out and about during those times, you can find that information on our website or at Tampa Bay Traffic. Other than that, things are looking good this morning. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Across Florida, hospitalizations connected to COVID-19 are down. Deaths, though, are up. Department of Health stats show the number of people being treated for coronavirus has decreased over the last 2 weeks. Whether that trend holds will depend on new cases, of course, now the testing centers have reopened following the tropical storm. Florida reported 245 new deaths in the latest update, bringing the 7-day average to 184. That's our state's highest rate yet. Overall, cases now stand at just under 500,000.
Starting today, state-supported drive-through testing sites will prioritize testing for people experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, anyone who's 65 and older, or children under the age of 18. It's a different lane where you swab yourself. There are state-run testing sites in Tampa, as well as Ruskin. We have mapped them out for you in this article on abcactionnews.com. Also today, the Department of Health in Sarasota County is hosting a new drive-through testing site at Nokomis Laurel Park. You can check out the ABC Action News app for all of the appointment information.
This afternoon, Florida's largest teachers union wants a judge to delay the start of school. The Florida Education Association has already sued the governor, saying it's unconstitutional to mandate brick and mortar schools open. ABC Action News reporter Jasmine Stiles breaks down what to expect today.
Today's 30-minute status conference could get a hearing on the docket as early as Friday. At least that's what the Florida Education Association asked for, and its emergency motion its lawyers filed. As cases still surge in Florida and some health experts now calling this the epicenter, the FEA wants to stop brick and mortar schools from opening. Court documents say the Florida Constitution calls for safe and secure public schools, and right now the union doesn't have confidence those words can be applied to district reopening plans. The FEA filed the lawsuit after the state's education commissioner sent out an emergency order on July 6th. It requires K-12 districts to reopen brick and mortar schools 5 days a week. Some districts like Broward and Miami-Dade announced they're starting the year remotely, regardless of the order. Coming up in the next half hour, the demands the FEA wants the districts to meet before sending students and teachers back to school. In Tampa, I'm Jasmine Stiles, ABC Action News.
Jasmine, thank you. Today, Manatee County leaders are joining forces to help stop the spread of COVID-19 in the community. At 11:30, the county school superintendent, Department of Health director, as well as county administrator will hold a joint press conference at Braden River High School. There, they'll introduce a new initiative aimed to keep the county safe from further spread of the virus. We'll bring you the details as we get them inside the ABC Action News app.
Right now, new software is rolling out across the state to help contact tracers. It's through a company out of New York. The deal costs Florida just under $3 million. The program by the company Healthy Together is helping contact tracers input information faster, meaning more people are reached quicker. This should help slow the spread of the coronavirus.
And the ultimate goal really is just to shorten the time from identifying who's sick to helping those who were exposed recognize that they should quarantine themselves so that they can also stop spreading.
More tracers are expected to come online closer to the first day of school. Health officials fear the lack of rapid test results will pose the biggest challenge for tracers trying to contain an outbreak at a school. Well, we are hearing from a local expert who's sharing his public health concerns about reopening.
ABC Action News reporter Larissa Scott explains why he thinks that this may not be the right time to open up schools.
Experts say it's really difficult to have reopening conversations when the state is still at such a high transmission rate.
That prevalence where we are up in that 10% positivity rate, we'd like to see that probably more in that 5 or less % positivity rate to have some good conversations about it being safe to go out and about.
Dr. Jason Wilson, who works in the ER at Tampa General Hospital, says we should have had the masks debate and talked about contact tracing several months ago if we wanted to reopen. Wilson says once the prevalence gets as high as it is now in the 10% range, contact tracing becomes very difficult because basically everyone is a contact. His big concern is if we start to reopen schools later this month and our numbers are still where they're at now, we're going to struggle knowing what to do with things like contact tracing.
When that slope starts to go back, do we dial back down? Do we dial school back down if school's back in session? I think these are some really difficult conversations that are made more difficult given the prevalence, the % of positive tests that we're at right now.
And coming up in our next half hour, what experts fear will happen once we reopen schools and the next steps they're looking into. Reporting from Tampa this morning, Larissa Scott, ABC Action News.
Keeping you updated on, as Congress, I should say, easy for me to say, keeping you updated as Congress negotiates the next stimulus deal. The White House has now agreed to extend a moratorium on evictions through the end of the year. This is for federally subsidized housing, which applies to about 12 million renters. The hope is to complete a deal by Friday with a final vote coming next week. St. Pete Mayor Rick Kreisman says he would support bars and breweries reopening only if they follow certain guidelines. Kreisman says if the state allows bars to reopen, he wants them to follow the same guidelines as restaurants, and that includes a maximum capacity of 50% inside and social distancing between tables. Kreisman also wants a state mandate requiring people to be seated at a table in order to be served.
What I don't support is people being in bars that are open and being able to stand about. I think it's difficult to maintain social distancing in those situations.
We told you how Pinellas County bar and brewery owners recently met with state leaders asking for permission to reopen. They've also filed a lawsuit. Keep you updated with what happens here on air and online.
New for you this morning, if you were a member of the social network Google+, look for an email saying you could get some money. This is part of a $7 million class action lawsuit Google+ shut down last year. Back in 2018, a privacy flaw allowed third-party developers to get private data from any Google+ user profile. Now, those who qualify for the settlement could only get up to $12. Not a lot there. A new study just out shows even mild sleep problems could harm your child's development. The Children's Hospital of Philadelphia found that mild sleep problems can diminish a child's well-being by the time they reach about 10 years old. Doctors say that this can contribute to lower self-control, emotional health, and in some cases, lower grades. Researchers say that this shows the importance of getting kids screened if it does appear that they have a sleep issue.
Well, what have you been having for breakfast lately? Well, it turns out Kraft says more parents are serving up mac and cheese in the morning. So they're coming out with these limited edition boxes with the word breakfast over where dinner usually is. You'll see the boxes in stores next year. It turns out, Greg, they did a big survey, and it turns out a lot of more parents are saying that during the pandemic, they're serving their kids mac and cheese for breakfast.
I think what they're saying is they're tired of making their kids breakfast. They just want to microwave something really fast. Your kiddo, just eat this, and I hope it holds you over till lunchtime. All right, good morning, everybody. Here's what we're looking at on the radar this morning. We've got a couple of scattered showers and storms down to our south. It's a different flow today out of the south and east. So there's some rain lining up across the South Florida area coming out of the Everglades, south of Fort Myers. Fort Myers Beach right now, getting some heavy rain and lightning. Some of these storms are going to work their way north. Now, it's going to take a while for the rain to get to Tampa, but look at this rain chance in Tampa. That's a 71% by 7 o'clock tonight. I'll show you what that looks like for the rest of our counties and towns coming up just minutes away. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning, Greg. What's good, Tampa Bay? A ton of you have been getting in on this question, and it is, what household chore do you actually enjoy? Melissa wrote, I usually don't mind washing the dishes. She actually finds the hot water relaxing. What's on your mind? Let us know. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're sharing your responses at 7 and 9.
I also find the sound of the dishwasher relaxing. Does that count?
That too.
Coming up, sounding the alarm. The CDC says a polio-like disease affecting kids could be returning. It is rare, but we'll tell you the symptoms you need to look out for. Plus, a Facebook group is helping out teachers with school supplies. New this morning how you can adopt a teacher.
Feeling stressed? Try Noonday.
Come today.
New for you this morning, the CDC is now warning cases of a polio-like condition in children may start to spike again this month. It's called AFM for short. Doctors believe it's caused by respiratory viruses. Doctors hope improved hand hygiene and wearing masks because of COVID-19 could slow the expected outbreak. AFM is rare. It affects the nervous system along with causing limb weakness. Doctors say watch out for symptoms like a cough, runny nose, and fever, followed by weakness in arms or legs.
If you receive a mystery package of seeds from China, Hillsborough County wants you to bring them unopened to Extension Services, their facilities there. We've posted all the locations and hours on abcactionnews.com. We've told you there are concerns the seeds could be an invasive plant. So far, initial tests show the seeds are not harmful. The Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital has a new way to help improve staff training. It has a new 3D printer, creating everything from spines to hearts. We're told this designed to create anatomy that will help take medical training and preparation to the next level. The hospital says the body parts the printer recreates feel and respond like the real thing.
That's super cool. Well, heads up for you this morning. You don't have much longer to complete the 2020 census. You originally had until the end of October. Now you have until the end of September. And the Census Bureau is cutting its efforts short. The change comes at the request of President Donald Trump. The Census Bureau says the change is so that it can meet end-of-the-year deadlines to redraw congressional districts. Well, there's a new step forward to look at how Floridians could visit loved ones in long-term care facilities. Governor Ron DeSantis forming a committee to look at ways the facilities can safely allow visitors. They'll take a look at ideas like whether select people with COVID antibodies could see their loved ones. At last check, state data shows about 6,000 long-term care facility residents are COVID-19 positive. That is a similar number for workers in these facilities.
Well, this morning, One Blood's holding a blood drive outside Venice City Hall. We've told you how many blood banks have been running low on donations ever since the pandemic started. You'll see the big red bus starting at 10 a.m. Donors asked to wear a mask. One Blood says donations are a safe way to save a life during the pandemic. All donors will get a free COVID-19 antibody test and a coupon for a pint of Culver's custard.
All right, well, we love these stories about people helping one another during tough times. Shows humanity is alive and well. And this next story has a lot of helpers. ABC Action News reporter Sean Daly has the uplifting story about more than 7,000 people buying school supplies and adopting teachers.
How much do you spend on your classroom?
Ugh, my husband's gonna see this, so.
Rebecca McDonough is a teacher at Chimino Elementary in Valrico. Every year, she spends a lot of her own money on her students.
We're at the dollar store a lot, we're at Target a lot.
But this year, Rebecca and colleague Vanessa Hill are anticipating spending even more, including on fun incentives for kids to keep masks on.
To instill that cheerful,
happy mood in the classroom.
So it's a good thing that Vanessa and Rebecca are being adopted. That's right, adopted by the Facebook group Adopt a Hillsborough Teacher.
I'm feeling for them. I know that there's so many unknowns as they start this school year.
That's Brooke Elkins and Laura Gilman, former educators who started the group.
The group exploded really quickly, way bigger than we ever expected.
Almost 8,000 people have helped buy supplies for more than 250 teachers. From tissues to pencils to books. The Facebook group wants teachers to feel that love.
There are people that support them and care for them and are here for them.
Rebecca says being an adopted teacher is a blessing.
It's kind of like Christmas in August, really. It feels amazing.
Okay, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandma. When you were buying supplies for a classroom, think individually. Because this year, kids can't even share a pencil. In Valrico, I am Sean Daly, ABC Action News.
That's just a great initiative, you know, and you look at that Facebook group, already has 7,500 people on there, and teachers need all the help they can get right now. It's a good thing to see.
Absolutely. I hope that even after this whole pandemic thing is over, that still continues.
Oh, I hope for the same thing, Vanessa.
Absolutely. Well, let's check in with meteorologist Greg D., who hopefully has some good news for us this Wednesday morning. Good morning to you, Greg.
I do, Vanessa. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yesterday, the rain along the coast, non-existent for many of you, so the heat lasted well into the day. Well, today, I think we're going to make a really nice change and fix that evening with some cooler temperatures and better shot of showers and storms. Pinellas County today, it's probably going to have to 8 o'clock when the storms reach you, but there is going to be a chance of rain, as I'll show you on Futurecast, even down to our beaches. Polk County rain planner well up there, almost 80% chance of rain. Yesterday, saw some heavy thunderstorms rolling through Davenport and Lake Wales over towards Winter Haven and Auburndale. We'll see more of these moving through, really exploding in coverage this afternoon. 76 Mayaca City, 75 Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton 77 down in Sarasota County. We're in the 70s too from Northport. Englewood is 80. Venice, good morning, 79. You probably see some lightning looking down the beach to your south. 74 Wauchula, 74 in Sebring, Avon Park. Good morning, current temperature 74. Take a look at the lake there, Lake Okeechobee. Yeah, right over Okeechobee. In fact, there is a heavy thunderstorm falling now. Some showers over 27 heading north towards southern portions of Highlands County. And additional showers out there towards the Rotunda heading down towards Cape Coral. These should continue to drift north. So along the coast of Sarasota, some showers are likely. Nothing in Tampa right now, but with the flow out of the south and east, Lakeland, Tampa, Davenport, Brooksville, Crystal River, I think you've got a shot of some thunderstorms later this afternoon. They start at the coast early this morning, then in our coastal counties widely scattered midday. The activity really starts to pick up inland during the afternoon and evening and stays much of the afternoon in the interior. But after 8 o'clock, those storms start to work their way back to the coast. And look at that coverage today. It could be heavy with, I think, even the beaches potentially getting heavy downpours after 8 o'clock tonight. Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast, similar weather pattern, though there'll be some changes by the weekend, more of an offshore flow then. High temperatures in the low 90s. Sarah, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Greg. Hey, everybody. To our early birds who are getting out the door anytime soon and taking the Howard Franklin, I have a better view of what's going on there from one of my FDOT cameras. Yeah, there is quite a bit of activity over on the shoulder. This is northbound on the Pinellas side. Good news, not affecting our drive time. That's why I'm still giving the Howard Franklin the green light. The Cordy Campbell and the Gandy are in the green as well. Moving down to Bradenton quickly, an accident new for you at 621. This is 13th Avenue West at First Street. Roadblock reported in the intersection. We'll take a look at some of the closures because of the Vice President's visit coming up again at 6:30. Back to you.
Sarah, thank you. Parents are now suing TikTok. New for you this morning, the key information about children they claim the app is sending overseas. Plus, don't expect to see shelves like these full of wipes until next year. The new clog in the supply chain now being blamed for the short supply.
In this morning's GMA First Look, as school districts brace for reopening, a problem parents across the country are facing, getting their kids to wear masks. And for many young kids, trying to wear a mask looks something like this.
Then you're going to take your mask and put it on your ears.
So we spoke to families about the struggles they face getting their children to wear them and of what's sure to be an unusual school year.
How do you keep your kids wearing masks all the time?
He has never worn a mask for 5 hours at a time, and I don't know if he will be able to do it.
And coming up at 7 a.m., you'll hear from experts on tips to make the whole process easier.
You can say school is going to look a little different this fall. Their friends are going to be wearing masks throughout the day for the entire day.
With your GMA First Look, I'm Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
Hi, I'm your insurance attorney, Anthony Lopez.
Paying up for.
Well, right now, a lot of controversy over the popular video app TikTok. The latest, kids on the app claim their information is being stolen. Dozens of parents have sued on behalf of their kids who are minors. Now, those have merged into one big class action suit. It says TikTok has allegedly been collecting data such as facial characteristics, locations, and close contacts, then sending it to servers in China. Now, lawyers are calling for the suit to expand nationwide. That would impact tens of millions of American users.
Well, Clorox now says disinfectant wipes will be hard to find well into next year. Come on now. The incoming CEO for Clorox says the pandemic combined with the upcoming flu season will set them back a year when it comes to catching up with demand. We've also learned the material used to make the wipes is also used to make personal protective equipment, meaning the entire supply chain is stretched pretty thin. Clorox has a 45% market share of cleaning wipes.
Today is the final day of free testing at Pinellas Community Church in South St. Pete. The site is on 31st Street South near 54th Avenue. It'll be open from noon to 7. You do need an appointment. We have the phone number posted right there on your screen and on abcactionnews.com/virus. Take a look at this. The car that was smashed by a dead tree at a popular park. Coming up, the delay behind that tree's removal, one woman says, put people there in danger. And dating during the pandemic. New this morning, the simple steps you can take to make sure your big plans are safe.
Introducing Valerie.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Let's get your day started. This is ABC Action News, taking action for you.
Today, a teachers group is asking a judge to block the reopening of school buildings. Now at 6:30, the demands they want before students and teachers return to the classroom. And concerns are growing as the school year gets closer. New this morning, what public health experts say they fear could happen when classroom doors open up. Plus, how one airline is keeping passengers safe. An exclusive look at the precautions happening behind the scenes. Good morning, Tampa Bay. Glad you're with us here in the middle of the week. I'm James Tully.
And I'm Vanessa Ariza for Dia Riley. Sarah Finney's keeping an eye on the roads for you this morning. First, let's check in with your Wednesday morning forecast with meteorologist Greg D. Hey there, Greg.
Hey there, Vanessa and James. Good morning, everybody. Starting you off with a look outside I-4-275. Beautiful view of downtown from the Jefferson Street FDOT camera. Temperature right now is 79. Starting to see the light out there. Sunrise this morning, 6:55. By the way, we are losing 1 minute of daylight per day now as we move through the month of August. Temperatures this morning, 3, 4, 5 degrees cooler than yesterday. Not only is that a difference today, but the amount of rain that we'll see later this afternoon, that'll be noticeable too. Heavier coverage today, better chances of storms by 8 o'clock. Tampa's actually down into the low to mid 80s. I'll show you the hour-by-hour rain planner for Sarasota County coming up just minutes away. Sarah, how are the roads looking this morning?
Good morning, Greg. Hey, everybody. If you're taking the Howard Franklin anytime soon, you will see some activity northbound on the shoulder as you work your way into Tampa because of an earlier accident. Good news, it's not affecting our lanes or our drive times. But if you are taking the Howard Franklin later on, especially southbound, expect some periodic closures because Vice President Mike Pence is going to be in Clearwater. So the Howard Franklin will be affected at some point between 10:30 and 1. We don't have any definitive times, but that's just the window there. And then from 3 to 5 this evening, 60 will be affected from Clearwater Beach to TPA. I know this is a lot to take in at 6:30 in the morning. That's why we have an article on our website, abcactionnews.com. You can find it on Twitter at Tampa Bay Traffic. Other than that, things are looking good. We'll take a look at your What's Good question in less than 10. Back to you.
Sarah, thank you. New for you this morning, new data on the coronavirus suggests the national surge in cases could be leveling off. ABC News reporting an internal FEMA memo showing only 7 states and territories are on an upward trajectory in new cases. Just yesterday, the Florida Department of Health confirming about 5,400 new cases and 245 new deaths. Florida is nearing 500,000 total coronavirus cases since the start of the pandemic. Only California has had more in the U.S.
A judge could decide today on delaying opening school buildings. It comes after the state's largest teachers union filed an emergency motion. ABC Action News reporter Jasmine Stiles has what advocates want before students and teachers go back to the classroom.
Today's special hearing is set for 30 minutes, and in that short time, the Florida Education Association hopes a judge gives them a temporary injunction. That would delay the start of in-person classes statewide. When the FEA filed its lawsuit on July 20th, it came with a set of demands. One, they don't want the state to force students and teachers back into the classroom. The order from the Education Commissioner mandates districts must present the option of a brick and mortar return 5 days a week. Two, before opening in that manner, the districts must provide enough PPE for students and staff, reduce class sizes for social distancing, install hand sanitizing stations, add plexiglass barriers, and increase school clinic capabilities. And three, the union wants the state to develop and implement an online learning plan, then give every child access to devices and internet until it's safe to go back to in-person learning. Of course, we've been keeping you in the loop about issues surrounding safely opening schools like this lawsuit for a while now. The best way to stay up to date is by downloading the free ABC Action News mobile app. That way you'll get push alerts straight to your phone. In Tampa, I'm Jasmine Stiles, ABC Action News.
Jasmine, thank you. This morning, nurses demanding action, claiming leaders are prioritizing money over people when it comes to the coronavirus. Starting within the last half hour, rallies began across the state, including at the James A. Haley Veterans Hospital. Later today, they're going to be at Oak Hill, Doctors Hospital, and HCA West Division office in Tampa. Registered nurses are demanding the Senate pass the HEROES Act, that hospitals stop reusing PPE and increase transparency in the medical field.
New this morning, a local doctor is weighing in on issues surrounding schools reopening later this month. He spoke with ABC Action News reporter Larissa Scott about what he fears could happen when school starts.
Some public health experts say they're worried about another spike and fear that reopening schools could be that next wave. Local doctors say we're not out of the woods. Although the number of cases has stabilized some, we've plateaued at a level they believe is still too high to comfortably reopen.
So now we're in a place where we
Tampa General Hospital ER Dr. Jason Wilson says all you need is one super spreader event, and that could be schools reopening, with some students and teachers likely inevitably getting sick.
The problem we have right now, too, is that at any given time, you could jump the curve back into a rapid acceleration event. We're not, the fire's still burning.
Wilson says the conversation going on in public health right now is if we need to roll back on some of the reopening to get the curve to go back down. According to Wilson, we've gotten pretty much all we're going to get out of the current public health interventions. Each action, like enforcing mask wearing and physical distancing, decreases viral transmission some, but at this point, Wilson says it's not enough anymore.
But the question becomes, how do you get the curve to bend, right? That's the real question on the table. And I think the discussion going on right now, even with national public health experts, is whether or not that's going to be possible in time before the fall rolls around and viral transmission picks up anyway. And other viruses pick up anyway.
And coming up in our next half hour on our exclusive streaming news channel, when experts say would be a better time to reopen schools. Reporting in Tampa, Larissa Scott, ABC Action News.
Well, today, Hillsborough County commissioners could take the final step in disbanding the county's emergency policy group. Starting at 9, they're going to look at returning emergency powers back to commissioners, including dealing with the pandemic. It would make it so that the policy group only handles hurricane response. Commissioners are expected to hold a final vote on this, and they could vote on this at their meeting again today at 9 a.m. Download the ABC Action News app for instant updates.
Well, this is video so many of you are reacting to on social media. This morning, rescue operations continue in Beirut after this massive explosion. More than 100 people have died. That number expected to grow today. Lebanon's interior minister believes that the cause of this blast is linked to more than 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate that was being stored in a warehouse. Well, with more people starting to travel once again, airlines are focusing on their cleaning efforts and social distancing procedures. United Airlines giving us an exclusive look at their process. Travelers will see mandatory masks, touchless check-ins, plexiglass barriers, and stickers on employees' badges showing that they have all had their temperature checked. The airline says before each flight, a spray cleaner is used to sanitize the plane, and down below, members change a HEPA filter more often than required.
And there's a lot of focus on NASA and Mars right now, with good reason. In this edition of Geek Fix, Greg shows us 2 other missions that are set to help us better understand the red planet.
Heading out towards Mars ahead of NASA's Perseverance rover are two other missions. The first one from China, it's a rover and orbiter combo. We don't have much information about its actual details, but it'll arrive in 2021. Also arriving right after that is the mission from the United Arab Emirates. We know a lot about this one because it was put together in conjunction with the University of Arizona, University of California, and assembled at the University of Colorado. The orbiter is a weather satellite that will, for the first time ever, take detailed readings about Mars' atmosphere and mapping and timing out the red planet's seasons, something we'll need if we ever want to live on the planet or put a human colony there. The mission will get there just before NASA's Perseverance and should be in orbit by 2021.
Greg, thank you. We'll take a look at this close call in Safety Harbor. A woman's car was totaled, you can see there, by a dead tree. Now we're learning that that tree was already scheduled to be removed before all of that happened. Michelle McMullen says the tree posed a serious hazard to a lot of people who were visiting Philippi Park. We found out that that tree was set to be removed, but it was on hold because of a woodpecker nest. McMullen turned to ABC Action News after going back and forth with Pinellas County officials, asking for help with repairs and damaged items. She says no one has apologized.
I have no way to get to and from work. My son starts school next week. I'm just in a really bad position.
She says there was no warning tape or signs posted about the tree. Pinellas County officials promise they are now working with her insurance company to figure out a possible payback for those damages. New this morning, online matchmakers are doing their part to make sure that you can date in a safe way right now. James, I just started watching Indian Matchmakers on Netflix. Just saying.
Good?
It's good. It's addictive. So.
Okay, I've heard that. Well, let's talk about this, though, first. The Meetup Group owns several social networking apps. They've created a safer dating advisory board. It recommends daters be honest and more upfront about health concerns and listen to local restrictions. If you do meet, the board says make it a public place outdoors and wear a mask. If you're concerned about your risk, get a COVID-19 test. There you have it. All right, Indian Matchmakers, Greg. I haven't heard of that. I'm enjoying Floor is Lava on Netflix. That's how I've been spending my time.
That's a really fun show. I've watched quite a few of those as well. Very, very entertaining. A very original idea, too. Good morning, everybody. As we look out towards the Freedom Boat Club in St. Pete this morning, mainly clear skies. Temperatures out there into the upper 70s to around 80 if you get right to the water in St. Pete. Sarasota County tracking some showers to south of you this morning. Your chances for rain up to 40%. That's a lot higher than it's been the last several days for the afternoon. Say good morning to Layla, living her best Tampa Bay dog life. Oh, so difficult looking at the boats on Clearwater Beach. Temperatures in the 80s this morning. May want to get that dog walk in on the beach early. I'll show you why with your Futurecast forecast coming up. Sarah Finney, what's good?
What's good, Tampa Bay? Greg and I have a fun one for you this morning. We want to know, what household chore do you actually enjoy? We've received a lot of fun responses, including one from Sandy. She said that she loves washing windows so much that she even washes her neighbors' windows. That is incredible, okay? Let us know what you're thinking of. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and then we'll show what you said at 7 and 9. Back to you.
Sarah, thank you. Well, even if your child will be learning from home, those school health forms are still required. New this morning, the reason doctors say it has to be done no matter what. Plus, protecting kids while walking to class in dangerous conditions. The decision today that could make students safer as they head back to school. Stay with us. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
I'm Doug Bernetti of Bernetti PA.
Whether virtually or in person, many of you are getting ready to send your kids safely back to school. Either way, you need to make sure that all the required health forms are in too. Students are still required to have their immunizations and physicals to register for their district. That means pre-K, kindergarten, and 7th grade health exams and immunizations have to be up to date. Pediatrician Chad Rudnick says that there's a reason for that.
Even if your child is going to be home and doing distance learning right now, it's unlikely that distance learning will have to stay for the entire year. They would like for all the forms, they still need these forms. It's still a part of state law.
You can get the state immunization forms from your child's doctor. And to help you sort out and help me sort out my words, we've got all the year's changes and requirements in a special section of our website, abcactionnews.com/school. We take a look at the reopening plans and also the mask requirements for each district. Let's get to what's happening today. Hillsborough County set to approve the construction of new sidewalks near Mort Elementary in Tampa.
So many of you have been telling us you felt scared to let your kids walk to class. ABC Action News reporter Lauren Rosella is driving Tampa Bay forward with how this could help save lives.
This project will connect existing segments of sidewalks all across the neighborhood, and this is something families say they've been waiting years for. This is video from a few years ago showing Mort Elementary kids walking to school in the dark. Right now, there are very few continuous sidewalks surrounding the school in Tampa's University area, so kids are left walking in or near the street. This is what one Mort Elementary mother said when we first told you about these dangerous conditions back in 2017.
It's too dark. Where we live at, kids get hit by cars if they don't see them. And you don't know who's around you.
Hillsborough commissioners are set to approve the new sidewalk projects later today as a part of the Safe Routes to School initiative. It's also a part of Vision Zero. This project should be complete within about 5 months. And hundreds of these kids are already considered very vulnerable. At Mort Elementary, 99% of the school's 800 students are eligible for free and reduced lunch. In Tampa, I'm Lauren Rosella, ABC Action News.
Lauren, thank you. And let us know if you have any issues like this in your neighborhood. You can call, you can email our Driving Tampa Bay Forward tip line. That information on your screen right now. It is open 24/7. We look into every single tip that you send in. Well, looking ahead, BayCare says next week they'll resume elective surgeries at 6 Hillsborough County hospitals. Starting on Monday, all non-urgent surgeries and procedures will begin again at 6 acute care hospitals. Now, this comes about 5 weeks after BayCare shut down elective surgeries in order to give hospitals more bed capacity for COVID-19 patients.
Now, this next story, it's good. Clearwater police say 2 teens tried to steal an umpire's car at a sports complex. Turns out the suspects were unaware the softball players on the field were police officers. It happened on Monday night. Officers say they first noticed the teens hanging out at the Eddie Seymour complex, and then they say a 16-year-old girl stole a set of keys from the table, took off running. Police say the teens tried to steal the umpire's car in the middle of an inning.
Officer Richmond, I heard him very loudly yell, police stop repeatedly. And they had no idea that basically the entire team out there was comprised of Clearwater police officers.
The teens charged with attempted grand theft of a motor vehicle after making the arrest. The police officers, they lost their game, but they're pretty big winners for us this morning. Greg, they say umpiring sometimes is a thankless job, but they couldn't wait to help him out and go after those kids.
That's a great story, James. Good morning, everybody. Glad they did. As we start off on this Wednesday morning, could be seeing some of this by this afternoon and especially this evening along the coast. Some thunderstorms possible all the way down to our beaches today. So if you are planning on getting outside or you work outside, keep that in mind. Getting out there early, getting a head start certainly is going to work in your favor today. Temperatures in the low 90s. I do think much of the afternoon west of I-75 is only going to see very isolated showers. It'll be mainly dry. It's after 4, 5, 6 o'clock this evening that those rain chances really start to build. It's 75 in La Cucci, 75 in Dade City, 73 over towards Brooksville. Right now in Tampa, 79, 77 South Tampa, and 76 in Brandon. Polk County well down into the 70s. 74, 75 in most Polk County towns. Look at the radar this morning. There are some showers west of Clearwater Beach, out to the west of Anna Maria and Siesta Key, out in the Gulf of Mexico. And then there are more storms. Look at that big complex down toward Fort Myers. All of this is working its way up the coast. So for those of you that live down towards southern Sarasota County, we're going to watch these storms very carefully over the next couple of hours. But Englewood, maybe over towards Minnesota, Venice, and the Vamo community, 8:25, 7:30 could see the arrival time of those storms. Join us for our digital streaming channel newscast at 7. We'll be tracking that rain as it moves north. And it could be more widely scattered today with not just the interior getting the showers and storms, but many of us at some point today getting the opportunity for rain. Now, that opportunity really starts to build after 4 o'clock this afternoon and really late this evening when these storms try to make their way toward the coast. And many of them, I think, today have a better shot of succeeding. We'll see that pattern through Friday. Then offshore flow on Saturday and Sunday will bring even more late-day rains to our beaches. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning, Greg. A serious situation developing on 75 northbound since we last checked in. This happening near Fletcher in the Thenonasassa area. All lanes of traffic are stopped northbound on the interstate. And you can see right now live that it appears we have a medical chopper landing. From Hillsborough County Fire Rescue, we're told that this accident involved a vehicle and a pedestrian. In terms of how this all came together, we don't know yet. But as you can imagine, it is serious because they are calling out medical chopper, and that's why they had to stop all lanes of traffic. This is something that I'm going to continue to watch on our streaming newscast through the 7 o'clock hour. So we will have another update for you right there in 9 minutes. As soon as I get some more information, I'll let you know. Back to you.
Thanks, Sarah. A new episode of the Rebound Tampa Bay podcast is out this morning. Today, Joe St. George, our Washington, D.C. correspondent, joins me to talk about the latest on the stimulus package and how different this election process is going to be for us. You'll find the Rebound Tampa Bay podcast on Stitcher and iTunes, or watch a full video of it this morning on my Facebook page.
Is your roof hurricane ready? Win-win.
All right, let's get to your morning sprint and get you up to speed with today's top stories. Today, the state's largest teachers union will ask a judge to order a delay for the start of in-person classes. This is in response to the state requiring districts to offer a brick and mortar option 5 days a week. The Florida Education Association argues that violates Florida's constitution. And this morning, local health experts are explaining their concerns about reopening schools. They say it's difficult to do when the state still has such a high transmission rate. Doctors say it would be more comfortable to reopen when the prevalence of cases drops below 5%. Yesterday, it was just above 10%. Sarah?
A serious situation developing on 75 northbound. All lanes are blocked here. This is at Fletcher. A medical chopper has landed here, and we are told that it was a vehicle versus a pedestrian crash. So as you can imagine, this is quite serious. You are going to want to avoid this area. More coming up on our streaming news channel.
Sarah, thank you. A new study about how sleep affects a child's development coming up at 7, the health problems that can be caused by even mild sleep symptoms. Good Morning Tampa Bay at 7 is up next on our free 24/7 streaming news channel. Be sure to add ABC Action News to your favorite streaming device for more local news, weather, and traffic, or you can watch it on abcactionnews.com.
Is your roof hurricane ready? Call the experts at Parliament Roofing for a quality roof replacement at a price you can afford. Parliament makes it easy with next day installation, lifetime warranty, no money down, in-house no hassle financing, and easy monthly payments. They install shingles,